Boom. We're live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to anybody who is watching this on the replay. This is the Friday Live brought to you by the Hood. This is our show we do every Friday. So if you are watching this on the replay, salute to you. We appreciate you. Shout out to everybody on our YouTube page. Today we're going to talk about Starbucks. And also a little bit of everything else going on in the community culture and all that. If you are watching live, please let us know who's here. Let us know who's here so we can make sure we show you love because you guys show us love. As Corey phone goes off, that's money coming. Every time you hear that, it's Corey getting money.
Easy, young Jeezy.
Well, I'm joining my partner, Corey. Corey, what's up, bro?
What's really good with you, man?
I mean, listen, man, I can't complain. Shout out to Sam, man. Sam is in the building. What's good, Sam? How are you? Appreciate you as always. Yeah. Sam, do me a favor, hit the like button. I'm only calling you by name, you know what I'm saying, because you just posted. But for the folks that are watching, please do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the love button, show us some love as we get started to have this conversation about Starbucks and investing in general. You know what I'm saying? See, Corey getting that chicken, man. That's that chicken.
Easy,
I told y'all.
Easy.
I told y'all every time they go up, boom.
Damn.
Yeah, I hear you, Corey.
Yeah, let me turn this joint down.
That's Corey getting that money. That money. But we got the rest of our family is pulling up. Jose is in the building. What's good, Jose?
Here.
Keep it moving his hair. How are you? Appreciate you checking in from YouTube. The missus is in the building. What's up, LaJoya? How are you? But how was your week, Corey? Everything good?
Man, I mean, up and down, you know what I mean? I had some personal victories, you know what I mean? In the stock market. Had some personal defeats. You made some jokes at my expense, but one of my bots just bit the dust.
That wasn't for you, bro. That wasn't a shot at you, but I'm just,
No, man, come on, Jim. I'm grown.
I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know, man.
Listen,
because the crazy part about it is, it's not just you.
If my brother can't clap at me, then no one can.
But you know what's funny about that? I got another post I'm gonna put up tonight, man. I put up that post, and folks was clapping at me in my inbox, calling me a hater and whatnot. I'm like,
hey, listen, I'm not mad at him.
One of the people that called me a hater, right? I was laughing because I went back in our conversation and I screenshotted and showed it to him. Like, remember this? This is when you was asking me about them damn blessing looms. And I'm like, so don't call me a hater. I can warn you against all this stuff, but you don't listen. So
for sure. For sheezy, my neezy.
I'm like, anyway, yo.
I know the risks because I'm a crypto degenerate. So I used to do this in Web3 wallets 2.5 years ago.
You probably blew a bunch of those up. Listen, man, we got a number of folks watching, but nobody's hitting the like button, man. Hit the like button for me, y'all. For those, there we go. Now I saw a bunch of.
I don't know what the delay was. With that, I know the ups and downs, the risks and rewards. So there was no shock and surprise to me. But people that's new to the space, they know, they don't know.
Was it one of the popular ones or a not popular one?
Oh, it was a super popular joint. It was the joint probably with the most money in it. Period.
Ooh. All right, shout out to Kahanas in the building. You know what I'm saying? Our partner, our IBB brother. Yes. Shout out to him. Brianna's in the building. What's up, Brianna?
What it is though. And then
Hedon is in the building.
We got a
Grislock Johnson. What's good, brothers, man? We appreciate you for checking in.
We had a great finish to our camp this week. So
yeah, we want to talk about that. Cookie, what's up, Cookie?
That was amazing. So we want to talk about this week. This week has been filled with absolute joy. Some adversity. My son got accepted to a few colleges this week.
I saw that on the wifey's post,
so like my wife, I mean, my wife is a super trooper. Like she is the ultimate backbone of our family. She does, she took my son on his college trip, his college visit, and she made sure that he was straight. They spent the weekend up at whatever college they was at because it was multiple colleges. They trying to get my black dollars. So they on my ass.
Shout out to CJ, man. I can't wait to see him get into college and
speaking of CJ, Akil is his tutor again, and Akil is the absolute best math teacher on planet Earth.
Yeah, shout out to Akil.
Akil is crazy when it comes to the math stuff. Like I don't just talk about Akil, I pay Akil because he does that work. Like,
No, he's excellent. I've seen him at work. I've seen him help children. So, and I always like to give him props, like even when he's not here with us, man. So if
yo, he is an
anybody
ass.
knows the killer, tell him, man, we showing him love, man, because
Yo, man, I
he's
listen. I
amazing,
don't have
man.
any choice because I entrusted my son to him. There's no higher thing that I could do for him but to entrust my
And
kid.
he's culturally relevant, so he talks to our kids in a way that they
Yeah,
understand and
man.
makes things relatable. So I think that's
If,
dope
if
because
you know anything about how my trust issues are set up, if I give you my child, you know that's the highest level of anything.
Black mathematician, man. Listen, to anybody that's on YouTube, make sure after you finish watching us this evening, you go check out his channel. He has a channel,
All this math.
all this math, and he's a black mathematician who specializes in helping the kids in our community just become more proficient and also just excellent at math. And he's amazing, man. I've seen him work with kids, and I know other families that have used him for tutoring, and the kids always excel after. It's funny because I know one person whose kid was struggling, and now that's like their most dominant subject after working with him. And because he was able to communicate to them in a way that they understood, and now the kid is just flourishing. So the brother is dope. He does great work. So make sure you follow his channel, but also support the brother because he's working in a space that not too many people that look like us are working in, and he's an advocate for our kids becoming more proficient in mathematics. So shout out to our brother Akil, man. We got GC in the building. I've been watching reparations meeting and conferences all week.
Reparations means well, that's it.
So let me ask you a question, GC. What are your thoughts after watching those? Do you have any new thoughts, or have your thoughts changed, or are you more convinced of what you already thought? What's your feedback from all that? So Jose says, congrats on the youngin'. Cajon says, congrats, CJ. LaJoy is co-sign and kill. Brianna, good evening, Brianna.
Oh, what's going on? The glue.
For you, the glue. Funny thing is, I was in our back office watching your course. Like personally, I'm going through your class again. Because I'm trying to, get a couple dollars on the side in terms of mystery shopping. So I was just watching that. So shout out to you.
I'm a
Chaz is in
shopper.
the building. Yo, Ashley is hilarious, yo. What's up, Ash?
Yizzo.
Tweet Talk's in the building. What's his name again? Akil Parker.
Yeah.
AKIL. Last name is Parker. Parker. His YouTube channel is All This Math. I'm laughing at Ashley say Grand Rising, Jimmy. That's how them scammers be when they be cloning my account, man.
It's crazy.
I'm Zuckerberg, man, because I shouldn't even say this out loud because I'm streaming on one of his platforms, but now I'm starting to think that wasn't scammers, man. Like I think they behind it because they come out with the $14.99 plan. And for all of us who've been cloned, I've talked to other folks that have been cloned. All of us like, I might have to pay that. But it's like, hold up, who was cloning us this whole time? Because they don't beat us into submission where we're ready to pay $14.99 a month. Like, who was the one really cloning
They let the scammers bust your ass until you pay $15.
They did us dirty.
$3 a month to keep them off your back.
Okay. Tell my California. We deserve reparation for sure. I was just curious on how they structure these things. Seems like the Californians are in good hands with the task force. I like to see how it plays out. I just did a $115 route today. See, that's what I'm saying, man. I'd have took that, bought me a share or something, man, and then rinse repeat.
I need that in my life. $115
Yeah, the town halls and meetings have been virtual. All right, GC, that's what's up, man. Yo, I gotta check that out. Is the recording up there? Because I would actually, that's something I would actually watch because I'll be watching like weirdo stuff on YouTube in random times in the evening. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. So, but to Corey's point, we just finished our camp with the Brewerytown Shardswood Community Organization. They had an amazing camp, and the kids are just like so bright. They learn so much. Asking them questions on the last week was dope because you can see how much they picked up. You can see their brains starting to think different about just investing in companies. So that was that's always fulfilling, yo. That's the most fulfilling thing of anything that we do is watching the kids like start to learn and start to invest. Got an email last night from the mother that's there. She got the 3 daughters.
Yeah.
And I was talking to her, and they're ready to go. They're like setting up accounts and they're getting invested. And I'm like, let's go. Like I'm getting excited. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just one of the great parts about what we do, man. And shout out to them, man. So that's exciting, man. Also, I guess I could let the cat out the bag a little bit. We will, outside of this though, we will be at Martin Luther King High School. The flyer dropped March 11th. That's a Saturday, and you can register for that too. I don't know why I don't have that on here. Let me see if it's on our IG page, because you can register for that as well. And if you're in the area, we're gonna do a couple sessions for the youth about investing, right? None of the scam stuff you see online, none of the we're not going to talk down to them. We're not going to Grant Cardone them, none of that. We're going to talk to our kids like they should be talked to and explain to them why they should all be investors. But it's the youth conference.
If you've ever been to one of our classes, you will never hear none of that Grant Cardone.
I was throwing the alley-oop for core right there. That was me. Like I'm Jay Kidd on the break. I'm like, here come Kenyon Martin.
If you listen to the language and the verbiage we use in our camps, Grant Cardone is an absolute effing idiot. Like I don't want to get us demonetized because I'm about to lose.
Just chill, bro. That was just me right there. I should have did that. That was me acting like Jay Kidd on the break. I saw Kenyon Martin coming down the way.
The disdain I got for dude. Like I don't give a damn how much money he got, man. He's all right.
So here's the youth conference right here. You know what I mean? Corey, Rachel Hannibal, Anthony Lee, and myself. Shout out to our brother A. Lee. I actually got a meeting with A. Lee tomorrow, so about some other stuff, but that's our brother. Rachel Hannibal does crazy amazing work. She's a young legend in the game. What we love about her is I love the way she teaches the youth, but also what she's teaching them. None of this pie in the sky. Yeah, she's fire. We actually spoke at her conference. She threw the whole youth conference herself this summer, and we were part of that. But now she's on the road with us. And also Rhonda Bartlett, who's not pictured here, but she's also one of the speakers. But this is going to be at Martin Luther King High School. Yeah, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., March 11th. The deadline to register is March 3rd. And there's a little, box right there you can scan to register. But shout out to everybody participating in this. Again, this is for the youth, and that's what we about. We getting out in the streets and talking to the people, man. Who else we got in the bill? We got Jamil. Jamil, man. Shout out to the dude. I just had lunch with one of my OGs who's working. He's actually doing some real estate analytics work in Detroit. And I had, lunch with him today, as a matter of fact. Got me the little short rigatoni with the pesto, but that's another story. But some of the stuff he was telling me about Detroit and what's going on real estate wise is exciting. So, shout out to Jamil, who's in the building. Meta is only charging now since they see that Twitter was able to monetize being verified. Yeah. But when they put that thing in there about like stopping the clones and all that, that made me look like, yeah, okay, they set me up real crazy.
Yeah, they did themselves the oop off the backboard.
Yeah, Tay is in the building, so I'm assuming Dan is here too. Shout out to Tay and Dan. You see them both, which is dope. Always to see. Shout out to Black Love. But listen, a lot of talk, Corey. Let's talk about this main topic, man. How I came across this main topic, right? Doing some research on some companies this week, and one of them was Starbucks. And in doing that, I added a couple of things into my research now, right? So obviously, we have a lot of services that we pay for, like Market Chameleon. Like we don't gatekeep. So we'll tell you what we pay for. We pay for TradingView, we pay for Market Chameleon, Yahoo Finance, all these different things that we use, FinViz. And I was doing some research on Starbucks. But one of the things I've added, this is going to sound crazy, but y'all got to hear me out though. One of the things I search now when I'm looking up a company, I literally search like TikTok, right? Because believe it or not, there's a lot of folks who invest. Like so many people understand the power of the platform that you find all kinds of stuff on it. And I came across this thing from Entrepreneur, the Entrepreneur magazine. So they have a TikTok channel where they put a lot of different business news. And it was a thing about Starbucks and why Starbucks is really a bank. And then that made me go somewhere else where I started reading about Howard Schultz and how that was one of his plans years ago. So this isn't something that they bumped into. This was their plan all along. And what really made me think about this is something that we teach the babies. Like when we're actually teaching them, we teach them to think like a bank. And when we talk about thinking like a bank, this is watching it in action. You know how we talk about McDonald's, we say McDonald's is really a real estate company.
Yeah.
Right. That's one of the things we always talk about. We talked about that in that legendary book called Own Your Time and Space. But when you talk about Starbucks, Starbucks is really a bank operating as a coffee chain, right? So let me share this. Let me share this video real fast, so you can see.
It's actually a bank. They may sell
real quick. This is from Entrepreneur's TikTok channel. I want to make sure I give them credit. Shout out to them. But take a look at
Starbucks is not a coffee shop. It's actually a bank. They may sell over 8 million cups of coffee each day, but what actually makes them a bank? Well, when you go to pay for a coffee at Starbucks, the cashier then tells you, you can earn rewards for free coffee if you use the Starbucks app. Then you download the apps to start earning rewards. This is where Starbucks becomes a bank. Instead of paying with cash or a credit card, you can add money to your Starbucks account, allowing you to pay using the app on your iPhone. Over 41% of Starbucks customers keep chunks of cash in the app. And by the end of 2019, users collectively kept over $1.5 billion on their Starbucks card. Customers, of course, will exchange this for coffee at some point, but in the meantime, Starbucks has a $1.5 billion loan. They can choose to invest the money into the stock market, build more stores, or do as they please with it. Unlike a bank though, they don't have to follow regulations, and they basically have a $1 billion loan with 0% interest from their customers. Thus, Starbucks has more money than 85% of the banks out there.
Right.
Whoa.
So, a couple things about that.
That was I thought about it, but I never thought about it. Like,
another publication I saw had updated numbers as of 2022, and it was like 2.6 billion.
yo, I thought about, like, you think about this stuff. I know, like, knowing it and then hearing it from somebody else, it just felt like it felt good. It felt good and dirty. Like,
It felt dirty.
It felt kind of dirty, like, to know that you getting pimped like that, but it feels good to understand that I knew.
Well, since I saw that video, I've been asking folks that I know go to Starbucks, and anybody watching now, if you go to Starbucks, do you use the app? Crazy part is 100% of the people I asked, and I asked about 9 people over the last week, they all said they use the app. All of them use the app. All people want rewards, so everybody uses the app. So if you are watching now and you go to Starbucks, let me know, do you use the app or not? Because that's what I found interesting. And also, because they are not a bank, that's the interesting part. They don't have to follow any of the banking regulations. They can do whatever they want to do. That's it. Yo, that's like
crazy.
But all right, so let me show you this real fast too. I mean, keeping up with our main topic. And overall thing, what we're talking about tonight is like really when you dig into companies, really dig into them and kind of figure out what their modus operandi is. I think I just really want to say that.
Yeah, man. Like it's almost never like the company does one thing, but what they actually are is something totally different.
So here's an article about Starbucks and the banking, and here's the part I want to get to. They talk about how this was part of a turnaround that was put in place. So he started this idea all the way back in 2008. 2008, Howard Schultz was a CEO. Like this was intentional. It says, thanks to the Starbucks is a bank vision of the CEO, Howard Schultz. So this was his plan 15 years ago. He put all this in play.
Yo,
but
that's gangster.
However, unlike mainstream banks, Starbucks does not have to abide by regulations around storing customer funds in either a segregated bank account or to invest in low-risk government bonds. As Starbucks card balances cannot be directly exchanged for regular currency, but rather to buy in-store items, Starbucks is free to use these funds however they like. So in practice, this allows them to use the funds to seek opportunities in areas such as expansion and operations. So this is gangster. Like this is a pretty fire. Like when you look at, and again, anything we say here is not investment advice. We're not telling you to go invest in them. We're not saying it's a great company, but I just thought it was interesting, like, breaking down kind of what they do. Let me catch up on some of these comments and we'll get back to Starbucks. So for those watching, if you do go to Starbucks, do you use the mobile app? That's the question I want to see for those watching. Jamil says, shout out to Kamari and Marquia's Credit Podcast this week. Shout out to our brother. Man, Kamari is my guy. Actually, Kamari, I'm going to meet with Kamari tomorrow too, so I'll see him in person. Shout out to Kamari. You know what I mean? So this past Saturday, I sat down with the brothers. We'll be creating an investors club. Our first project is real estate. I'll keep you posted on developments. That's dope. That's absolutely fire. Let me know how you make out. We got proof of concept. Our investment club, shout to Kahan, who's in the comments. I mean, we just bought equity.
You definitely should come check us out, Jose. Because we could probably give you a blueprint for you and your brothers that'll put y'all on the right path.
Absolutely.
And get y'all done
we
right.
We just bought a small piece of equity in a gunshot. Yeah, I don't want to put that out there too much, but one of the only African American owned gun shops on the East Coast. Anyway, I've had a $10 Starbucks card given to me 6 years ago I never used. They flipped that 14 times already, bro. Cookie says yes, uses the app. Funny enough, I have $100 on my Starbucks card from 5 years ago. I barely remember the money is there and generally pay with cash. They flipped that too, bro. They just flipping y'all chicken. That's why it's the great. It's not even, they can't even call it a scheme, but it's the greatest. That was
Yeah.
it's an amazing thing. Only when my company gives out gift cards. Mark,
What it is though?
really good. Mark, how are you, good brother? Appreciate you checking in. They recently changed the rewards model to make it harder to give free stuff. How will that affect it? What's up, Angela? How are you? Thankfully, I don't drink coffee. I'm not a coffee person either. You know what I'm saying? Although Starbucks do got the fire peach tea. That peach tea is absolutely brilliant.
My son loves Starbucks. He get the same John.
Yeah. Speaking of Grant Cardone, one jewel he dropped is invest in real estate around Starbucks because they do their logistics strategically for you. I mean, you can say that about a lot of corporations, right?
You know, same thing with the you could do the same thing with the what's the John with the supermarket chain.
You talking about Whole Foods.
Same, you can say the same thing about Whole Foods.
So yeah, I mean, you can say it about a lot of different things, right? So one of the things in real estate modeling that we do is we check for it's something called distance. We use distance variables, and you check distance from like one aspect to another to see whether that's a value add. So sometimes you assume that things add value that don't add value, and sometimes it's absolutely correct. But he says, "Are you familiar with Tencent?" All right, so is that supposed to be like? So I don't know if you're saying Tencent. Like when you say, all right, what is Tencent? Let's put it that way, because
which one? The Chinese company?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He's saying Tencent, but he put two words there, 10 cent, like a dime. Like I don't know what you're saying. Like, let me know. The Starbucks medicine ball is amazing. Said they sure did. I think she's speaking in reference to making it more difficult to get something. So when you say 10 cent, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. Like because I thought he was talking about that same company you did, Core. Yeah, 10 cent. Not sure which one you're speaking of, but yeah. So that's interesting, man. And when you look at like, I've never seen the Starbucks recently in Philadelphia as I go around. Yeah, we familiar with Tencent. If that's what you're talking about, yeah, we familiar with them. When you talk about Starbucks and going around Philadelphia, like they always jam packed, always. And I'm sitting there thinking like all these people are using that app and they are flipping this bread like gymnastics. Ashley says, did you guys speak on the whole Grant C fiasco? Not really. I mean, we made a couple jokes about it, but I didn't care about him to begin with. Like, I've never liked dude. I always thought he was a culture vulture. Ever since he has to use the N word, I never mess with him. I don't care about anything. But the thing is, though, if you like him, that's on you. Like, yo, I'm at a place now where I don't even get into the. I found it funny. Let me put this. I found it funny, like, how folks were, like, switching their pitch up as if they didn't know who he was to begin with.
He was always the same dude. Like he been saying the same stuff for 5 years.
Yeah. So like for me, it wasn't a big deal because I've never been I've been in spaces like where folks is like Uncle G. They're like, I'm like, yo, y'all are wilding. But
yeah, but
there's not too many folks. I mean, how can I say this? I check for our people. Let's just put it that way. That's me. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I do. That's me personally. So
that's me, P, speaking for myself.
yo, he was wilding them, bro.
Yo, man,
he was wilding. If y'all don't know who understand that reference right there, that was a Mobb Deep reference. Rest in peace, the Prodigy.
Yo.
Rest in peace, the Prodigy. I caught it though.
Oh man,
it's me, P. I'm speaking for myself. Crazy, yo. That's one of the illest
interludes
ever, yo. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, R.I.P. Prodigy though, man.
Oh man, that's my favorite album. That's why as soon as you said that, like it just came straight to my head.
Yeah, that's my album too, man. Just because it got Temperatures Rising on it.
That's my second favorite song on that joint too.
I didn't even know he was into the one to use the N word. Yeah, that's been a thing for a while. You know what's funny is Corey, your man, the business bully. What's your guy's name? Dave Anderson.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he been slaying this dude
he did a whole thing. Yeah, he did a whole thing like 5-10 years ago about how GC was no good. And the thing is, What I remember about that is folks getting mad at him for the stuff he was saying.
Yeah, he been slandering this dude.
Yeah, he been going crazy on him.
He been murdering dude for 5 years. And now everybody wanna like, damn, he's a weirdo. People been telling you this for the last 5 years, man.
Yeah. Pac-Man, what's good, Pac-Man? Kev, what's up, brother? Kev, yo, I just got invited to speak at a conference in Vegas, April 4th through the 6th, somewhere in the area, beginning of April. So, Kev, I don't know if you're gonna be in town, but let's catch up and get a grub or something, man. When I pull up different places, you know what I mean. I was in Virginia last week, which was pretty dope. Shout out to brother Hank, but that was pretty fun.
I'll be in Houston 2 weeks from now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm cool on that.
What, on Houston?
No. I'm talking about the 10X conference. No. Shout out to Houston. I mess with Houston.
Yeah, 10X conference.
Cut me my check. Yeah. What do y'all think about Chat GPT and AI? Grizzlock, that's an interesting question. So one of the things that's interesting about this is we get at least one of these questions per week now, but that gives you an indication of
how popular they've become.
So I kind of went into this a little bit last week, and I'll do it again in a little bit. Chat GPT and AI. So I think that there's something
tell
there.
them first that it's not AI.
That's my biggest concern. My biggest concern is they're putting AI on the back of everything, and a lot of the stuff that they're calling AI isn't AI. I'm of the opinion that Chat GPT isn't pure AI itself to begin with, right?
It's machine learning. It's not AI.
But I understand why. It's like machine learning is a part of AI, but it's not AI. So I don't want to get too deep into the weeds, but it also shows what's possible, also what's currently being worked on. Because put it like this, if you're seeing this on a front-facing consumer product, imagine what you're not seeing, right? Always harken back to iRobot and Vicky from iRobot, right? And it started off one way, and then by the end, Will Smith had to save us, from extinction. Shout out to Will Smith because he saved us. Will Smith always saves the world. You know what I'm saying? Free Will Smith. But the fact of the matter is there's so much money flowing into this space now. I was talking to someone earlier who's big into the crypto space, and he said even in the crypto space, all these new coins, the new hustle core now is such and such AI token. I was like, are you kidding me? He said, no, that's the new hustle. So, the shitcoin projects are adding AI to their name to get more capital. Venture capital space, people are calling things AI that have nothing to do with AI, but it allows them to raise more funds. So you got to really be careful with it. But, I think it is powerful, though. It's very powerful. I use Chat GPT all the time just to write stuff for me because I'm just being lazy. I ain't going to lie to you. Absolutely, we'll do lunch, Kev. We definitely will do lunch. Chat GPT is old. It's rebranding. Remember Ask G's? Funny thing is, GPT, I remember it was called GPT-3. That's been around for years, but they rebranded it, put it out to the public. And I definitely do remember Ask G's for Google came and took all their food. Google put on their block and told them get down and lay down. Yeah, man. Definitely remember Ask G's. Jada the real savior. Jada's the villain in that story. If you tripping on GC, then you ain't been in none of them MLM meetings when they were playing Ain't No Stopping Us Now before and after the meeting. Listen, man, that is the official MLM song, dog. That's what it is. It says, school has now implemented AI testing against submitted work because they found students using Chat GPT to write papers. Idiots. Yeah, I can see that. And that's easy to figure out, too. Speaking of schools, though, Corey and I have just been brought on. I'm just going to share it with y'all real fast. I'm going to keep it under wraps for a while, but I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Sankofa Homeschools. It's one of the biggest homeschool networks in the country for Black kids. And they've, brought us on as professors to teach finance to the youth. So that's going to be fun.
For the youths.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Shout out to Sankofa. We appreciate the support. And we can't wait to get in the mix with the youth and do our thing, man. So that's going to be interesting. But, we're continuing to build in the community because that's what we do, community first and then everything else.
If you check our resume, this year we would have done this is school number 4. Like this is what I'm saying. Like we don't really get on here and talk trash about ourselves, but we really get busy in the community. Like people be talking about getting busy. We actually be busy, man. Like,
appreciate that,
you know, because you know,
congrats on the development. Appreciate that, Jose. Definitely appreciate that. That's amazing. Congrats. Do you have any thoughts on Ye going back to Adidas?
I told you they needed him more than he needed them. Like that, we all knew they was going to lose too much money. That was too big of a chunk of their money. Because my thing is, all the other brands kind of spiraled upward. I mean, you know, climbed upward because they was piggybacking off of Ye. And now when Ye was gone, you know what I mean? Like all of those other brands took a hit.
So my thing is, I think it's kind of weird because of the way it played out. Like all the talk around the internet, everything's died down. It's kind of like they snuck that back in. And then when I'm reading it, it's not about there. And again, I don't know the specifics, but they're talking about just so they can sell the old stuff. It said, from what I've read, they weren't even doing anything new with them. They just don't want to lose all that old inventory. They're trying to sell the old stuff and basically break bread with him on all the old stuff. But one of the more interesting things about it in general is understanding your power and your leverage. I think that's the bigger conversation. But that's the bigger conversation. He did, but I don't. So it's hard to say, bro. It's really hard to say.
My thing is this, right?
Because the reason I say it's hard to say is because the way he talked when he thought he had leverage, he talked when he had no leverage. He'd been that person forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard with him.
Like, but the thing I'll say about him is this, right? People dismiss, because Kanye crazy as hell. I'm not saying that he's all there, but you cannot dismiss everything that he talks about because he's in places that we haven't been. I disagree with Kanye vehemently on almost everything that he talks about. But when you look at in totality what he's done and what he's doing, it's not that he's some kind of genius. It's that he understands the way the game is played and he plays the game at a different level than most people. And a lot of people that be talking trash about, you know, him and how he plays. Like, listen, man, my man is a walking magnet. You know what I mean?
Now,
like, which makes him dangerous, right? Because he spits a lot of stuff like half truths and stuff that doesn't make sense, which makes him super dangerous, right? But on the other side, like me, somebody who knows how to parse through the bull crap, I get it. I understand what he's doing a lot of the times. Because
but here's what I'll say. I don't think he does. I think that sometimes I think that
he's just wild as hell.
He somehow, like, you know, not somehow, but because of he has talent. Sometimes when you have talent, right, you'll find a way to win, right? Just because you have the talent.
Well, the talent has gravity.
That's what I'm saying. But I don't even. Sometimes you just bump into winning, even when you have talent. Even I don't like. Sometimes he's a mastermind. I don't think he'd be thinking none of this stuff out. I don't think he thinks about anything. As a matter of fact, he says it himself. He just goes by feeling, right? He goes by feeling and not thought. People think he plays chess, and he ain't playing chess. Right? But some people move that way, right? Some people move that way. Like when you look at, like, you know, say a Jay-Z or whatever, he's seemingly more calculated. Not that I agree with all his moves either, but who am I to who cares who I agree with anyway? That's my whole thing. People are like, I don't care. Listen, man, I want everybody to do what they can, as long as they are looking out for the community. And that's where I have a problem with him, is some of his anti-black comments.
First of all,
I don't dig that. People like, you gotta ignore that. I don't gotta ignore nothing.
I know all you need to know about what I think about Ye is his life choices, his choices in life partners. All you need to know about what I think about Boy.
I think that's a distraction because we're getting ready to go to war with China, so they distract us with the Kanye news. That's what that is, man. But anyway, Colin said that's dope about the school thing. Love saying, yeah, Tay, appreciate that. Appreciate that, y'all. Reaching and teaching the community, youth in the Bay. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate y'all support, man. Wasn't Adidas losing money on Ivy Park too? Yeah. Funny thing is, dude, how much money did they actually put behind that? I've never seen nobody with it on. I never see any sort of ads. So I don't even know, like, I forget that it exists at times. Appreciate that, Greg. Appreciate that, bro. LaJoya, appreciate that. Ye still needs them for accessing the materials for cheaper. If Ye wants to make clothing, it may be cost for him to manufacture. So that's the thing. Like, that reminds me of that conversation we were talking about Tristan Walker. Like,
yeah, the Bevel Boy.
Yeah, like, so having all those, that infrastructure. So basically what you're saying, Pac-Man, he needs their infrastructure.
And they need his name.
And that's why that partnership to begin with was so powerful, because he has the brand, he has the way to draw attention, and they got the infrastructure, and they ran the bag. sometimes things don't work out for whatever reason, but sometimes you got to go back and look. Like they had a nice run.
Nike
I
had
don't
him
know.
in house
Yeah,
and let him get out.
I don't know what the future holds, but sometimes you got to look back and say the run was crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like
those Yeezy Nikes was way better than them Yeezy.
Just because Nike, from my understanding, again, this is from me reading articles, Nike had a little bit of a say-so in the design. So they still had their designers in. They wouldn't let him go too crazy. Like he put his flair in it, but they wouldn't let him go too crazy, which is how they were beefing. And Adidas like, come do whatever you want to do. And that's when he started selling slippers. Like he just like that's what Nike was preventing. My man was selling the insoles with no real sneak. Like he went over there wilding. But shout out to him though, man. He's in a stronger position, even if they only liquidate the old stuff. Yeah, and who knows what comes from this? Like he may not even stay with them. Who knows? Erica, appreciate that. Appreciate that, Erica. Definitely appreciate that. They need to just be quiet about certain issues. So that's the thing. Some people like the fact that he's outspoken, but some people, it reminds me of I remember reading about Thurgood Marshall back in the day. And Thurgood Marshall was one of my heroes. Although him and one of my other
was at war.
Him and Malcolm did not like each other
at all.
But what I'll say about both of those brothers is when you read their works, they didn't like each other, but they didn't go like in public, like go too far.
There was no public slander, not no public slander, but
very
little.
Yeah, because slander. They also understood the importance of each. But Thurgood used to talk about people that were just loud and in front of the camera. And his position was you get within the system and you work within the system. Sometimes people don't even recognize what you're doing. More of the, spook who set by the door approach, which is why he ended up getting within the system and going all the way to one of the highest levels in the country in the Supreme Court. But that was always his belief. The way to make change is you got to get within the system and you work within the system and, you got to kind of play that spook. Well, Malcolm was like, F the whole system. So it's like different approaches. But I think about that. Well, yeah, sometimes he's so loud, but what would he be able to do? So on one hand, that's why he's able to draw the attention he draws. But then on the other hand, if he was able to tone it down a little bit, I always think about employing people.
What kind of impact would he have?
I always think about employing people because to me, the highest, you talked earlier about the highest compliment you can give someone is you trust them. But one of the things I think is the best thing you can do, which I think is the most revolutionary act,
is help somebody feed their family.
Help somebody feed their family. When you can provide jobs for people, to me, that is revolutionary.
Revolutionary.
So outside, when you can show someone how to take their money and make money, or when you can show someone how to actually provide a job where they can get money and feed their family, that's to me is next level. So I always think about that. Like, but would he have that success if he wasn't as loud and boisterous? I don't know. So that's the dichotomy there. I don't know. Yeah, it's a clown to me. That's fair. All of it's fair. They were going to have to pay him regardless. It was Adidas' best interest to align back with Ye to move that merch. Mario, what? He said, well, I'm just going to leave that. GC's hilarious. You saved me from a scam. Definitely owe you a lunch at minimum. Hey, Kev, I be out here trying to tell folks stuff is scams, man. Folks don't be listening to me, but I'm glad I was able to save you, bro. I'm glad I was able to save you, bro. It's a lot of scams out here, and a lot of scams seem legit, man. And they play on your emotions, man. But glad I was able to save you. But we definitely gonna catch up in lunch when I get out to the West Coast, bro. Appreciate that. Let's get back. Ye becomes black when you see. And I listen. That's one of the things I said. People don't like when I said that. Like,
listen, all the thing is,
Pac-Man, which is Pac-Man, you preaching right now.
One of my things is all of these things are true at the same time.
That
so
my
thing is, right? That's the thing with me, right? People want people to be one way or another, and if they're not one way or another, they call them hypocrites. When for the very most part,
all of us hypocrites. All of us hypocrites.
For the very most part, all of us are all of these things. Like, man, if you knew me 20 years ago and you look at me now, you're like, man, you hypocritical bastard. Like you dirty.
Like, I remember being a young boy, right? And I would sit there listening to old Pac albums, right? And I listened to Me Against the World, and like on one song, it's like the most
going absolutely nuts, railing against the machine, and then in the next joint, he calling females all kinds of hoes.
Yeah, I remember it clicked in me. I was like, and I was telling my guy, bro, I was like, hold up,
he's both people.
I'm like, what's he on? Like, because again, I'm a young boy, so I like to put people in boxes, right? And I couldn't put him in a box because every other song he was on a whole other vibe. So I think most of us are hypocrites. But here's GC's point: he had 140 million liquid and didn't even try to create his own manufacturing system. Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether he did or not. Maybe he did, and he ran into the fact that this is levels to that too. Mache, appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Silly-ish. Quavo greatness songs. Thoughts on the song, nothing else. I did hear it, by the way. I did hear it. It's not my thing. I'm just gonna put it that way, man. Shout out to the brother, man. I think he's still hurting, which is understandable, but it's just not what I'm into, bro. Shout out to Thurgood in his mink side of representation in Tennessee. One of Mink's last songs go hard though. Like, I don't know which song.
My man is a musical genius. He missed his calling.
One of the Mink's last songs go crazy though. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Oh, we got a super chat. Keep it moving. Appreciate that. Keep it moving. We appreciate that. Every little bit helps, man.
Show that appreciation. Love, man. We appreciate that, man. $2 more than we had 2 minutes.
Absolutely. It's love, man. Thanks for the love, bro. We need all approaches to building Black wealth, even though I think Kanye can leverage his wealth network influence. That's another great point, Tweet Talk. I think sometimes we get caught up too much in we got to do this, or we got to do that, or we got to do that. And your point that we need all approaches, I agree with that. Like, that's an excellent point. Excellent point.
People always like say that my life is kind of messed up because I don't have any heroes, and I don't believe in I don't believe in heroes because I think my saying, people going people. I don't believe in heroes.
But I think you learn from that too. One of the things
I mean, so I don't believe in heroes, and that's the first thing. And then I've never been impressed by another human being in my entire life, right? I think people have great accomplishment, right? I think people have great accomplishment, but I'm only impressed by what I see people do to and for other people, right? And so no matter how great your accomplishments are in the world, the only people that actually impress me are people who do stuff for other people. You know what I mean? I'm not I've never been awestruck by another person.
But I think there's a difference between being awestruck and having someone that you admire, look up to, or even try to study.
No, I can emulate people without having to.
I like to study folks, right? So when I say Thurgood Marshall is a hero, or Malcolm X is a hero, I have a lot of heroes but it's not necessarily awestruck. It's not like an awestruck thing. It's more of all right, I want to study your work, see what I could take from you.
For sure. I got people that I emulate. There's people in our circle that I emulate, right? I try to emulate my closest people first. You know what I mean? You, Kamari, you know what I mean? Y'all my brothers. There's things about y'all that I have to emulate, right? Because when we first got together 8 years ago, reconnected 7, 8 years ago, I was wilding. I was still wilding. I was out here doing I was out here.
No, you were
toasting to the most. You know what I mean? I was out here doing absolutely chaotic things. But the thing is,
when I'm speaking about that, I'm talking more like ancestors. So I tend to study their work, and that's what I mean by whether it's Garvey or whether a lot of folks. So, but my point is, getting back to the point that Raphael is making here, I think that a lot of times we get caught in trying to. Especially if it's something that we do, right? I see this online every day, and I'll be laughing. I see this a lot with these no shot to anybody, but these insurance folks, and they be going crazy. This is the only way to build wealth is through your whole life, and I'll be like, yo, y'all are wild. Y'all are wild.
Everybody life ain't set up for that.
Yo, y'all are wilding. Sometimes that's the worst policy to have. Not investment advice, but my point is. Or you'll see somebody in real estate talk about real estate is the only way. Anybody tells you that anything is the only way, just stop talking to them right there. But the point being is we need all approaches, whether that's Kanye's craziness or whether that's someone who's more low key, because we are playing from behind and we have you got to have all approaches. And I agree with Raphael there. So, great comment.
My thing is this: if you ever met a lot of your heroes, they wouldn't be heroes, right? Because I know.
That depends though. That depends upon you expect people to be perfect. I don't.
That's my thing. I don't have the expectation of perfection, right? But what kind of climate we living in. We living in cancel culture where you do one thing that's against culture, you getting canceled right away, unless your talent says you can't be canceled off one joint.
One of the things to me that's more admirable about Malcolm and his story and his writing and his journey is the fact that um he wasn't perfect, but he never pretended to be. And so for me, sometimes you meet
That's
your
the
heroes.
one thing when I read his story, that's the thing that I took from the story.
So
like,
for me,
all of the great things that he did, the one thing I took from the story is that he never tried to be perfect.
No, I said that before on like platforms, like his ability to course correct and say, okay, I was wrong about how I thought about this. But my point is, so I think it depends upon what you're looking for when you say that. When you meet like so. But I get your point about meeting your heroes. Like, you know, I wrote about that in Sports the Book. By the way, another book written by me. Check it up, sportsthebook.com. But Grizzlock says, do you do live trading classes? If so, let me know. I'll want in. Grizzlock, we have a membership community that we trade with every day. We do live classes. We have on-demand classes. We have a live class literally every Sunday at noon where we talk about what we're looking at in the market for that week. And we go live every Sunday. And we've been live 100 and something weeks. But, you know, so we do that. Grizzlock, shoot us a message on here, Twitter, Facebook, @ByTheHood, you know, and we can get you more information about that. Or you can go to mdcstrategy.com. I'll put that up here so you can see the actual website, mdcstrategy.com. That is our private group right there, mdcstrategy.com. But getting back to the comments, though, let's see. Pac-Man says, not a job, but a skill set. We as Black people don't necessarily be.
I don't care what people do. Feed your family. Like, a lot of people be job shaming, but my thing is this. A lot of the people, almost all of the richest people you know have a job. Almost all of them.
So that's a perspective thing too, right? So we had a conversation before in the Black Wealth Project when I said that everybody has a job, right? Everybody in the world has a job. If you're the CEO of your own company, you're either answering to your customers
or your
shareholders, or, your clients, however you see it. It's different between the customer and the client, by the way. But you're answering to somebody. The reason I don't job shame is because some of the wealthiest people in the world I know, like people like, again, my only job in private industry was like at Johnson & Johnson. And I had folks there that were multimillionaires who had jobs, and they were the, you know, millionaire next door types. And I say that to say that you can make a lot of money at a job. All depends upon how you structure it. If I have equity in a company that I'm working in, and that equity is growing and growing and growing. I mean, that's why, like, there's people out there now, all they do is get jobs at startups, right? Because they play that game. But I think, you know, it's a matter of playing, again, chess, not checkers.
One of the richest people I know made his first $1 million working as a manager at Walmart. Because they gave him Walmart stock when it was like $4 like he took the company John, and they was giving him Walmart stock when it was like $4. And now, you know what I mean, Walmart stock like $1.50. And you know what I mean, he was sitting on a
lot of people right now, to Pac-Man's point about Airbnb, who have to like reevaluate their whole business. Airbnb is bleeding money. A lot of stuff is legal scams. That's really scary. So I'm interested to see where this market will be as it matures. But I know a lot of people who had to like reevaluate and put long-term tenants in. Cash App. I'm not sure. Kanye get money to live into. Yo, GC be going in, yo. GC be going in. Yeah, I mean, listen, he said some wild stuff. I don't mess with him either, for real. And Pac-Man agrees. I don't think he's for Black folks, right? So
I don't agree. I don't think he's for Black folks either. I just
honestly look up to my pops, RIP, even though I met 4 siblings that I didn't know. Hey, Kev, man, shout to pops, man. Like, you know, listen, man. You know, he's imperfect, man, but he, you know, shout out to him though. Man, I hope you built a relationship with them, man. You know, see, he brought y'all together, man. Yo, Kev, crazy, yo. Wasn't there good exposes the former pro. All right, so here's the thing about that. You gotta be careful, right? See, Jamil be spending too much time on Hotep YouTube, right? So they got everybody as an informant on Hotep YouTube. WEB was an informant. I've heard Frederick Douglass was an informant. Thurgood was an informant. So you got to be careful with that. I don't know. I even heard on one dude's channel that Dr. Sebi was an informant. I'm like, yo, how Dr. Sebi an informant? Talking about eating grub. Like, what's
Eating herbs.
Like,
Dr. Sebi talking about eating herbs and he an informant.
Yeah, like folks be wilding with the informant tag. I guess that's like the current like snitch tag they put on people. Snitch. They throw that on everybody. I guess back in those days, that was the old tag. Yo, you an informant. You know what I'm saying? I agree.
I mean, listen, and I'm not putting it past him. I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
Yam farmer extraordinaire. Yeah, Malcolm always in
I'm gonna have to tag that to some people that I know.
Yam farmer extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a job you need skill to. Yeah, I agree with that. So I agree with that, Pac-Man, because if you have skills, you can always
move to anything you want to do with the skills that you have.
Listen, I'll be on Twitter and like looking up like the black tech threads, and people in the tech industry, especially people that are proficient in coding, they like hitmen, yo.
Eating.
They take jobs, they get stock, and they're like, who next? They like,
yeah.
The tech space is crazy. And I was talking to someone this week about that, right on Twitter though. I didn't meet him face to face. We were talking on Twitter, and they were saying that this whole idea of where we are as a society, where everybody's trying to like, diversity and inclusion, they're running the bag up with that because certain companies are trying to hire minorities or people of color, the BIPOCs. And what the folks that are proficient in coding are doing, they're using that to their advantage, and they're going and getting bags all over the place. They just dropping bags. Chick told me she had like 3 work from home jobs, like all of them paying like $1.75 or something crazy like that.
Bro,
and I'm like,
I got a homie who he does scaling for AWS and for Azure. And he take on like 7 or 8 jobs at a time.
Yo, and it's crazy because I'm like, yeah, you bringing in like
yo, my man.
I'm like, how can I tell you crazy for these jobs and you just
my man bringing $750,000 home yearly on these jobs.
Yeah.
Like 3/4, and then the thing is, he said he cut his own salary in half, but he still take the jobs. He trained 4 people, and he get them. He just find the jobs, and then he cut them in the same way.
Yo, that's another thing that's a whole other show. But if that's something that folks doing too now, they'll go hire like VAs, train them, and have like multiple jobs. Had a VA doing a job. Like folks figured out ways, man. But I think that is kind of like the point though. What Pac-Man said, like having that skill, that coding skill, puts you in a different space. Like you're able to go get the bread. Throw some Shabazz family lawsuit. Does that put majority onus on the government and absolve those jealous of Malcolm within the ranks and absolve Elijah, especially now? So people going to think what they want to think. I did see that lawsuit, but I mean, at the end of the day, man, like you're never going to be able to convince people that the government was involved, even though we all know that. Like you'll never be able to convince some folks. Some folks are going to always want to, blame a certain sect of, the nation. Like, again, it's one of those things, man. Like people going to believe what they want to believe, man. I was laughing today watching a bunch of videos on people talking about critical race theory. It was on like TikTok. They were like, what do you think about critical race? Oh, it's terrible. Can't be in the schools. Well, how would you define it? I don't know. I'm like, yo, y'all don't even know what y'all talking about. People are stupid out here, man. And I think sometimes I forget that. People sleep on Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just talked to a startup founder that has a crypto
preservation
company for pets and plans. What? Oh, for pets and plans on scaling to humans. Okay. I'm trying to figure out like how does that even work? Like, but again, you never know. That might be the next Starbucks. Yeah, it's for self. I agree. Is the WWE evaluation really worth $9 billion? They say if the Saudis cop it, Vinnie Mac stands to walk away with $3.5 billion. I don't know what their revenue or earnings look like. Haven't really looked up anything with WWE.
Since 2017 when we was copping it.
Yeah, we was copping it. It went crazy. We sold all that because it was nothing I really planned on holding long term anyway. I like the fact that they went public because, just being honest, when we teach kids and we're breaking down a public company and we tell them that WWE is public, like a lot of the kids who are into that are like, what? Like that. So that kind of made that part of the job easier.
Yeah, man.
Because it's a company that a lot of kids love. Although these days, as I'm online and people are sharing clips from WWE, I'm like, yo, like, first of all, most of the clips I see now are women. When I was coming up watching wrestling, the women wasn't even prominent like that.
They was the sidekick to the dude.
Yeah, now they get busy. That's all the clips I see.
I mean, people like naked yams all over the internet.
I mean, that's what certain spaces on IG is for. I need to finish this Python course and see where it takes me. So I do a little Python machine. I'm not like completely proficient, but I think you can do a lot with that. Let them tell. Some folks are saying that coding is over and will be extinct soon.
Never, because
Right,
all the computers need someone to tell them what to do. That's what coders do.
So that's the thing. People were talking about AI and how it's going to get rid of coders and all that, but who is giving the AI the commands, right? So, and that's the difference between being artificially intelligent and me just giving you commands and you spitting something back out, right? Right now, you're just writing the code that I'm telling you to write. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and even with that, there's sometimes issues. Like I've written Python using Chat GPT to be specific, and there's a lot of flaws with that. So again, we'll see, but I don't think coding will be extinct. I saw I think it was California, they were trying to get it added to like some county in California were trying to get it added to like a foreign language. You know how when you're in school, you got to take a foreign language. They were trying to make like programming languages, like so instead of having to take Spanish or French, you can substitute that for like a programming language.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's interesting.
You could talk to computers. Like I think I'm going to bring that up to my school tomorrow.
I just happen to read it. Like, WWE owns a lot of intellectual property. Yeah. I don't think that coding will be extinct, but I do think a lot of lower level software jobs will be replaced. Yeah, a lot of stuff at these big tech companies is repetitive.
Absolutely.
That's true too. That's
true. Hire like a mug.
That's true too. I haven't watched wrestling since WWF, Junkyard Dog, Dusty Rhodes, and Andre the Giant. Yeah, why the hell my man JYD, man, walking around with them chains around his neck like that, man? In retrospect, that was kind of wild.
Mad disrespectful.
Yo, in retrospect, that was kind of wild, yo. Shout out to Bianca, Sasha Banks, Mercy. Yeah, see all them people. I don't know who, but
I don't even know who they are, but
that's all I see on the timeline there.
Like their names sound like wrestlers' names.
Their names sound like strippers' names. But anyway, the Haiti kid. Yo, last thing I want to say before we do our giveaway, we are getting ready to do our Bitcoin giveaway. But before I do, last thing I want to say is, right, this past week I was listening to a podcast, right? I always like to give creators their credit. It was a Planet Money podcast. And it was about the federal budget and how they work to make sure that basically the federal government can pay its bills, right? Shout out to Planet Money. I'm not sure if you guys have ever listened to their podcast. I don't like every episode, but some episodes are interesting. But one of the more interesting things about this episode to me, they were talking about 2011 and the current, Jay Powell, the current Fed chair. At the time, he was working on the other side. What most people don't know about Jay Powell is Jay Powell got chicken. Jay Powell worked for a private investment firm, became a multimillionaire, but he was more interested in the intellectual part of the economy. So he took government jobs, but he didn't even have to work at all. And they were talking about him working on the other side, trying to get the budget passed. But what was crazy is the guy was saying how when you look at these big companies in the highest levels of government, it goes to what you talk about in Own Your Time and Space. You associate a certain time and a certain value to these companies, right? And what he was saying is when it came time to pass the federal budget, they were working on like basic ass PowerPoint and basic ass Excel. He said the average American doesn't know our budget for missiles, all kinds of stuff is fucking, excuse my language, it's an Excel spreadsheet. He was like, yo, it's an Excel spreadsheet. And the average person doesn't know that. And then he went to this whole thing about, and the kind of the pandemic kind of showed this. Most of these big corporations and companies, they're flying from the seat of their pants. We associate a certain value with them because we see these big names. Yo, they be in there running billion-dollar budgets on Word and Excel the same way we do on like
you keeping track of your budget in your crib.
But I found that really interesting. He was like, yo, the whole federal budget when it was working on it was an Excel spreadsheet. He's like, yo, you go in there and you looking like, like the missile budget, like, the budget for schooling and the budget for war, all this stuff is on an Excel spreadsheet. He was like, it's the craziest thing, but this is how it works. But anyway, it's a great episode. Check it out on Planet Money. He said a couple more comments. Sasha Banks is Snoop's cousin. Check out the We Study Billionaires podcast. I love it. And it's on. Yeah, I listen to that. They have a whole. I've listened to that for years. And what I do realize is recently they added a bunch of like Bitcoin stuff in the middle of that. Like they used to just be, a lot of the episodes used to be all Warren Buffett, but now they add a lot of Bitcoin stuff within the mix there. So I think that's interesting. So I'm having that back in. So, oh man, China will take over Excel spreadsheets. Yo, man, people don't realize how close we are, man. We about to go to war. And I think they only pushing war to kind of distract us from the fact that the FDMG Academy is getting ready to open. They don't want us to celebrate that. They don't want us to celebrate. They don't want us to celebrate FDMG.
8 years from the day he said he was going. Listen, that's an accomplishment, bro. I don't care what people say about Bull, even though he 5 years late on his promise. I mean,
they don't want us to celebrate FDMG. So what they're gonna do is start a whole war, man.
Frederick Douglass,
Marcus Garvey. That's why they're distracting us right there, yo. All black women who hold the women's WWE Raw Championship. I ain't familiar with none of that. I didn't know there was this many leagues out here, man.
That'll tell you. So yes, WWE is worth $9 billion because you just got 6 leagues right there. Like I don't even know if having those joints exist.
Mark, all I'm gonna say, Mark, is allegedly. And Jamil's laughing. All right, listen, let's do our giveaway before we get out of here. Everybody watching, we're getting ready to do a Bitcoin giveaway.
Oh, your one's in the air.
If you want to be putting this giveaway, please put a 1 in the chat. You will get paid this evening.
But
for those that maybe we got a lot of people watching right now, yo, hit the like button. For those that may be listening for the first time, we pay via Cash App. All you need is a cash tag. If you win, we do a random drawing. If you win, let us know you're still here. And if you are still here, what we'll do is, you shoot us an inbox with your cash tag and we'll get you paid this evening.
And that's another thing, man. I normally don't like talk about us, man, but we consistent, bro. We consistently put people on the things that we don't get no credit for putting them on to. And then we let other people listen, because we not really credit seeking out here, but we really put people onto a lot of stuff, man, that they had no idea existed. I don't care either, but
listen. I see the same thing you see, but it's okay because all I want to do.
I see a lot of people, with the puffer, puffing their chest out. You know what I mean? Like, like it don't.
The Khan statement. He said I saw him in KG one day getting suited and booted. Man, shot. Listen, man. Hey, listen, man. No shots at the brother, man. That's, you know what I mean. Let's let our brother live, man. He got FDMG, man. Like, it's King Kong consciousness, man. That's, you know what I mean. Shout out to King Kong consciousness.
What's crazy is I never disagreed with the idea of the school. I was just in disagreement with, like, damn, bro, you told us it's going to open in 20, and you start collecting money in 2014. You told us it was going to be open in 2018.
Here's what I will say. That video he did this past week at the school.
Absolute chaos, bro.
That was the funniest video I've ever
seen. That's the most chaotic thing that I have seen.
Too many quotables in there. I started making memes. I was like, I can't even do it. I got to stop because it's like I'm gonna end up our page is gonna end up with 15 Umar memes in a row. And like, yeah, we're used to becoming an Umar meme page. Like he dropped so many quotables and was going crazy. I'm like, he didn't realize he's the funniest man alive. He's the funniest man alive.
No, man, I don't know if he's funny.
And he's not trying to be, yo. Yeah, that's what's funny is he ain't trying to be.
Okay, that might make him the funniest.
Yo, he ain't even trying to be, man. But shout out to the brother, man. I support FDMG Academy. I don't care what they say about the brother, man. Let me pull up this joint and start getting our folks put in here, man, so we can take care of him, man. Yo, by the way, anybody in Philadelphia looking for an apartment? I got a 1-bedroom apartment. I got a 3-bedroom apartment that's fire. It's very huge. I got that in Winfield. I got a 1-bedroom in North. So, holler at me if you're looking for an apartment. I got a couple for rent right now. Got a duplex for sale. You know what I'm saying? On 62nd Street, got a nice duplex for sale. Bi-level duplex. Yo, shout out to our sister Jasmine, too. This is how I know Jasmine really gets busy. I'm talking about Jasmine Williams, the green real estate mom. She hit me up a couple days ago. She's like, yo, you selling this duplex? I'm like, yeah. She's like, all right. She does this thing with her students, and they break down these different, like, deals or what have you. And, they was breaking down my deal as like part of their classwork. And she was hitting me up like, oh, this your John. I'm like, yeah. All right, let's get to it though. I got Mark coming in first. So let's see. Let me see what I got.
Yeah, I got it. I see it. I got
it. Mark, Lizori, and Kev. All right, so let me see.
Sam, Chaz. Michelle. Pac-Man.
Mm-hmm.
A.E. Daniels,
Yes, sir.
Tay, Grizzlock Johnson,
Yes, sir.
Brianna,
Said Brianna.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
Gregory, Dan, Eric, Cheating Ass Vidon, Tweet Talk, Jamil, Rich, yo, shout out to Rich, man. Rich has been an OG in the game too forever, man. And his page is low key funny as hell, man. Like he need to be like he need to start his own meme page. His page is fire, yo. His IG
No,
page.
I like Rich's 90s basketball takes. Like he be finding the craziest videos from 90s basketball. It be giving me like nostalgia.
Yeah, you do. Kahan. Jose.
Brace is bringing the memes.
Ashley. Angela. Mark said, "How much is the 3-bedroom?"
1900. It got a parking spot too.
Kahan said, "Send him the info."
For which one? The 1-bedroom or the 3-bedroom? Dimension of schools. I mean, moving in 4 days.
They go Kahan right there.
Okay, I got you. I'll send it to you as soon as I get off here.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we need to do a Web3 show. Y'all need to do a Web3 show. We'll tap in. Oh, absolutely.
We can do a Web3 show. We can show y'all how to get busy on Web3. I can show y'all how you can be a crypto degenerate on Web3.
Be careful though, because Corey be going down too deep into the holes, and he be down there with the Corey be spending time.
I'll be down there with the scuzz.
Yeah, the scuzz and the undesirables.
I am a
drop the memes.
Degenerate,
Folks
bro.
want the memes. All right, I got that. Ashley's in, Angela's in. Ashley, I got you. I didn't forget about you. I can't forget about you, dog. You keep me updated with the ratchetness, man. Like, you know.
You part of the ratchet memery foundation.
Listen, man, I got a team of people that keep me updated with all the ratchet memes, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Michelle, because Michelle is here too. Michelle keeps me. See, Michelle helps balance it out because he always sending me great books and great positive stuff. You know what I mean? That helps balance out because Ashley be sending me the wild stuff on the internet. So shout out to both of y'all. Listen, I love and appreciate both of you for different reasons. Y'all help balance each other out, man. So shout out to both of y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what she said. Oh yeah, Michelle sent me a story today about a dude who was running a Bitcoin operation at the school, and he got caught. You know, they came at him. We need a class in the back office on how to make Jimmy memes. Hey, listen, I'll teach y'all. I do everything from the phone. People like, you be on everything from the phone. I had a conversation with I'm not gonna name names, but you know, someone who I learned. You know, listen, me and Corey are students too, so we have a bunch of folks that you know we teach, but I still pay for classes myself. When I told someone my annual budget on like self-improvement in classes, they was like, yo, you're bugging. I spend a lot of money. I'm in one group, like spend $500 a month to be in that group. But I was talking to one of the trading coaches, and he's of the opinion that you can't do, because I was telling him, I'm like, I use
put Lorraine in the gym.
I was telling him I got you. I use my iPad mini and I use my phone, and that's all I want to trade on. And he's of the opinion that you can't really chart on a small device. You need a computer, right? And I know a lot of people feel that way. But
show me your bank account, Jim.
You know, stop. I'm broke, baby. The point is though, like about we talked about this before, of course, about lifestyle design.
Yeah,
right? Which is why I don't care how you make your money, whether you got it, as long as you ain't breaking.
I be tempted to do that shit sometimes.
No, you gotta chill, bro. Chill. Stop that. But my point is, I want to get to the point where I'm so proficient that I could set up a couple things. I think Leslie said this. Leslie's like, yo, I'm trying to get to the point where I trade on Wednesday and that's it. And that's kind of where I'm working towards now. Have one day, I do a trade and I'm done for the week. Literally, that's my goal. And I want to be able to do that from anywhere. So I was telling him, I'm like, I'm kind of like, you know how they say you got to dress for the job you want?
Yeah, man.
That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm trading for the trader I want to be, not for who I am today. Anyway, Ashley said, life is about balance. Yeah. So yeah, my point is saying all those
disagree with
matches,
that
everything
statement
from the phone.
vehemently.
Let me add Lorraine real quick, and then we can get to spin.
I disagree with that statement vehemently.
Which one?
Life is about balance.
Okay.
I disagree with that statement
That's fine.
vehemently.
It's perspective. I mean, I try to balance out the wretchedness with the righteousness.
Cookie.
Okay, that cookie too. That's what I want. Yeah, that's the goal, right? That should be the goal. I'm still having trouble using E-Trade on my phone. Yeah, I use for trading purposes. I use TD, not investment advice. This is what I use. Once a week trade. That's what I'm talking about. I use Webull and TradingView Mobile. Yeah, TradingView TD for me. Laptop for the group. Got you. I think because I'm a photographer and I'm used to working on my computer, it's just hard for me to work from my phone, but I'm getting there. So, what would you prefer, Corey? Chaos?
Nah, the extreme. Only people that's willing to go to the extreme succeed at the highest level. So that life isn't about balance; it's about the extremes. Then, like people who exceed at the highest level have extreme discipline or extreme something. You know what I mean? But it's not about balance. They don't balance anything.
The crazy part about that is, so reading a lot of biographies, especially the ones referred to me by Michelle, reading a lot of biographies, like people that go to the extreme and have a level of success, they always regret it. That's the funny thing.
No, I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but I'm just saying, like when they get to those highest levels, that because they dedicated so much to that, they are so extreme. That's how they get to those levels of success.
No, I understand what you're saying, but then it becomes like,
what did I give up to get here?
Yeah, I remember reading the Steve Jobs John, and I felt sorry for him. Like, how I feel sorry for a dude worth billions of dollars, but the sacrifices he made in terms of family and his relationship with his daughter is like, you can't anyway.
You can't get that back.
Let's not get into a moral conversation here, but let's talk about let's get into this. So I'm gonna give y'all 30 seconds, and then we're gonna spin the wheel. I'm going to read back the names while we count that 30 seconds down. If I'm missing anybody, please let me know. If anybody wants to get in, I have Mark, LaJoya, Kev, Sam, Chaz, Michelle, Pac-Man, AE, Tay, Grizzlock, Brianna, Greg, Dan, Eric, Cheating Ass Vidon. Hold on, what's your? All right, Cheating Ass Vidon, Tweet Talk, Jamil, Rich, Kahan, Jose, Ashley, Angela, Lorraine, and Cookie. So that's who I have. If I'm missing anybody, got a couple more seconds. So please let me know. Whoa, it's a random question. Does anyone arbitrarily know an option to surgery for cataracts? I have no idea.
Yeah, none.
He said, y'all need to open a trading platform in Philly called Webull. Yeah, you wildin', bro. All right, let's get this spinning, man. Good luck to everybody. Remember, if your name comes up, let us know you still here. And what we're doing is we're giving away 2 people $25 worth of Bitcoin. That's right. So let's get to it. Good luck, everybody. Here's the first one. Weebull.
Michelle wild out, man. Michelle been hanging around Jamil too long.
AE for the win. AE, let us know you still here. Look what you paid this evening. You know what I'm saying?
He said I was rich.
There you go. He's definitely here. Yo, side note, before I hit this last one, has anybody watched The Servant on Apple TV, yo? I'm on season 2 of that, yo. And I think M. Night, I don't like to say his last name, is M. Night Shyamalan. I think M. Night Shyamalan might be on bath salts. Like, I'm watching this show. I'm like, cuz, what are you on when you write this? It's wild. I have no idea. I'm like, I don't even know if I like this or it's so crazy. Yeah, it's so crazy that I'm like, yo, I can't cut this off. Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan be wildin', bro.
He called him M. Night Shyamalan. For those of y'all who don't know who Shyamalan is, y'all look up Shyamalan, man.
Yo, M. Night Shyamalan be wildin', bro. That's the craziest show I've seen probably ever. AE, don't forget. AE, shoot me an inbox, shoot Core inbox. Said a servant. This is a slave show because I can't watch those. No, it's not. It's not. It's a thriller, and it's a thriller, but it's just dog. He on bath salts. All right, so here's the last one. AE won the first one. Here's the last one. Good luck to everybody. Remember, let us know you still here. and we'll take care of you this evening right away. So boom,
Yeah,
here we
he's
go.
22. He said, I would like to thank my higher power, my mom.
oh, look at that.
Miss Shay, I know he in the comments because he was talking about
Shay with the dub.
talking
Congrats
about
to
the
Shay.
scam guy. Yeah, my man created a whole dribbling style.
That's right, 90 people. Although that's not his move, man. That's Pooh Allen's move.
It is.
Jerome Pooh Allen invented the move, and Sham God got the credit. I'm putting that on the record, and it's a fact. You can look up the dates and look it up. Fact though. All right. All who doubted me. I'm doubting my talents and skills. All right, listen, man. For Michelle and AE, shoot me an inbox. I'm gonna get y'all paid ASAP. Everybody else, listen, we appreciate you. Shout out to my team at Mosaic. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We got a Mosaic meeting that's gonna be fire. Listen, please support what we got going on. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to everything that we're doing on social media. I mean, I'm about to drop some memes right now for all the people.
Ratchet memery.
Oh yeah. Ratchet memery definitely staying on point. We are bringing the podcast back, by the way, probably in a different format, a new format. If you're looking to come on a podcast and chop it up with us, let us know because we're not going to do the thing where we highlight individuals because there's too many scammers out here. But we are going to bring the podcast back to have real conversations about Black wealth. So if you're looking to come on and chop it up with us, please let us know. Congrats to the winners. We'll be back here next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Corey, you got any last words, bro?
Yeah, man. Just love each other enough not to hurt each other, man. That's it.
There we go, man. Good night, y'all. We love y'all. Peace.